Welcome to the DS Walks Double Drill Podcast. I'm your host, DS Walk. And before I start, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share my show. It helps a brother on the algorithm. And it's basketball talk, so we're going to get right to it. And joining me today, my co-host on the Signature Finisher podcast, who also is a basketball fan, a hardcore, old school Detroit Pistons fan, by the way. And he is not a fan of today's basketball. Jamie.
That is true. I hate basketball today. Well, I still love basketball. I just hate watching basketball today, but I still do it.
Yeah, that's the same thing for a lot of people. But
it's more of
a don't know about Jamie. Yeah. If you don't know about Jamie, there's two things you need to know. One, he loves the Pistons. Two, he's a rich or bad boy like me. Three, Boston Celtics, Seattle Supersonics. But if you got to choose between the two, Seattle will over-trump Boston.
Yes.
Being real.
Sean Kemp's my guy.
Nothing wrong with being a Boston Celtics fan as long as you appreciate and understand that the Boston Celtics is a historical franchise that is the most winning franchise in NBA history. And the simple fact that Larry Bird and all the greats played there. Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, led by Casey Jones, Dennis Johnson, underrated point guard, God rest his soul. You understand why he's a Boston Celtics fan. And also, the Seattle Supersonics led by Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, and the crew. High Fly, Rainmaker. That's why.
You can't forget the most important member of the Seattle Supersonics during that run, Detlef Schrempf.
Yes, underrated player.
Nate McMillan, come on. All of them guys.
Yes. Dale Ellis.
Dale Ellis, yes.
Yes. So we're going to top everything off. And also, want to talk about the NCAA tournament. And there's Akiel Jr., who is one of my favorite college players who doesn't get enough credit in the spotlight he deserves. And that's where we're going to start with today because the NCAA tournament is here. Today, we got the first four. Tomorrow will be another tournament for the first four. If you are a fan of some of the major schools, the Arizonas, the Kansas, the Dukes, the Michigan States, the Michigan, St. John's, Connecticut, your team has a good possibility of getting to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And if you're a fan of some of the Cinderella teams like the Hofstras and the Miami Ohios of the world, your team has a good chance of getting to the Sweet 16. I'm just putting it out there. This NCAA tournament, as top heavy it is.
Who do you have Who do you have in your Final Four?
Michigan. I have Michigan. I have two. Michigan against Connecticut and Michigan against Duke. It was hard. I ain't gonna lie. It was hard to pick Michigan over Arizona because to me both teams are even. I just think Arizona is a little bit better than Michigan. But I used my fandom and picked Michigan. I didn't go with the logic.
So just because I'm doing this show with you, I did a bracket for the first time in probably 15 years.
All right.
And I've got Duke versus Michigan. Or I've got Duke and Houston, Arizona and Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Who you got winning?
Michigan. I mean, that's the homer in me. I'm never going to pick Duke.
Yeah.
I'm never going to pick Duke. But
if I had to base on logic, Arizona is the best team in this tournament. They a clutch team. They got number one defense, but they got a freshman Kova who was getting some hype beginning of the season. He kind of tailed off, but he's getting right back up there. They are a complete team. There's no holes in Arizona. The two losses they have, they beat themselves. Arizona is just one of those teams where they always going to be in it. They're never going to look that out of it. And they have dominated this so far this season. Duke has played very well. Duke has some holes. Duke has Cameron Boozer, one of the best young players in college basketball. But we always expect Duke to be there. I don't have Duke winning it just because Arizona is just a complete better team. Michigan is my squad. Ride or die. Love Michigan. I have a concern because LJ Kaysen is out. and we see how that affect them when they play against Purdue, and to a certain extent, when they play how they play Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked that Dusty May didn't expand a rotation spot to another player on the bench. That needs to happen. I don't think he can go 8 deep with the players he have. I think he needs to have 4 guys come off that bench instead of 3. He needs another ball handler because as we see, Elliot Cadeau can get in foul trouble. Having McKinney playing the point, it just doesn't work for me. So that's my concern about Michigan. That's why if I be realistically, that's why I don't have them going to the Final Four. But the homer me has them going and winning it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What was your hardest bracket you think that you had to pick? Because I have 2.
The hardest one. You talking about with the teams in?
Yeah, with the teams.
The East, because it's so stacked. Because
the hardest game for me to pick was Ohio TCU and where was it? Ohio TCU or Ohio State, I should say. Where'd it go? There's my Arkansas game.
Oops, so that ain't it.
Arkansas and Wisconsin.
Yes.
That one, I'm not gonna lie, I just flipped a coin and it came up Wisconsin. So
let's see. I had my hardest one was because I got it written down right here: UCLA and UCF.
That one, I was just kind of like, I picked UCF.
Me too. If you've seen UCLA play this season, they look good, but they didn't look great. They look good, but they struggle a lot. I mean, I seen that game against Michigan, they got blown out. I seen that game against Michigan, they get blown out. They took a lot of blowouts this past season. And they played, you can see they were starting getting back on track in the Big Ten tournament. But I always say, like, if they're going to advance, they need to get a favorite opponent. And UCF is not a favorable opponent.
No, and USC or UCF is a basketball school, and they're there every year. Like, especially after living down there for a little bit, like, they are all about their basketball there.
Yeah,
and so I think they're going to bounce UCLA.
So let's put it like this: leading scorer for the Bruins, Tyler, Bill Dole and Donovan Dent. They've been in and out of the Atlanta with injuries, and I don't know how healthy they are. That can play a role. Tyler's their leading scorer at 17.6 per game. And Donovan Dent's the second leading scorer at 13.5. And Tyler's a big, so he's a key guy in that lineup. I just don't know how healthy he is to sit here and say, I think the Bruins going to dominate and win. And whereas, UCF, they have all their key players are healthy. And they're a 3-point shooting squad. So that's what was hard. This one was hard for me. And not only that, but if UCLA loses, it's not an upset, by the way.
No.
It's not. So keep that in mind.
I mean, they're technically seated higher, but no, it's still not an upset.
No. Another one, I won't say it was hard, but it was kind of like an easy pick because of the injury. I took VCU over North Carolina because Khalid Wilson is out. He's not coming back this remainder of the season. And VC Carolina played down the stretch that looked horrible. VCU has an opportunity to win this game.
I still took North Carolina, but you wouldn't be wrong, realistically.
And if I'm looking at this right, VC.
I gave Carolina a little bit of historic love and had them getting all the way up to Houston before getting bounced.
Okay.
Because Houston's just
the one thing about VCU, I had to pull up my notes up again, is that they're a team where they will go to the hole and they love to get fouled, and they live at the free throw line. So that's who they are. They are a team that will shoot a lot of free throws, and they shoot well enough to cash in those points. If Carolina gets them in foul trouble, Carolina has a chance to win. But if Carolina do not get them in foul trouble, Carolina going home early. And there was another game here that I think will be interesting. It's the 8-9 matchup between Villanova and Utah State. I got Utah State winning. I think Utah State going to be motivated to win just in the fact that their head coach possibly could be leaving to go be coaching University of Cincinnati. Utah State is one of the top three-point shooting teams in the country.
Yeah.
Villanova is not good defending the three.
I took Villanova just to be different. No, I had no idea who you picked. More of just historical tournament runs than anything. But like you said, they don't defend the three.
No.
Utah State is pretty good behind the arc.
Yeah, they shoot like 41% from three. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just over 40.
The
tournament's
funny.
different. So like when you get the March Madness tournament, a lot of it I look at more of historical of just what do they do in the tournament? And Villanova's a good tournament team.
Right.
So that's why they got the love. There was no stats or anything really behind it, just more historical fact of they're usually a pretty good Sweet 16 team.
Yeah. Head coach Gerard Calhoun in his second season. So what he did was with this team, MJ Collins Jr. and Mason Fossler, they are 1 and 2 the best long range distance shooters in their conference. And not only that, these two are the top defensive players in their conference, and actually the top defensive players in college basketball at forcing turnovers. He was a Fossler and senior guard Drake Allen averaged 2 steals per game. They're also very good and efficient inside the 3-point arc. So not only these guys are good at shooting long range, but basketball. They actually say this is probably one of the few teams that are good at shooting the mid-range shots and enforce turnovers. And on top of that, their head coach, Gerard Calhoun, his style of offense is NBA level style because he coached under the Boston Celtics. He was good. He's good friends with Joe Mazzulla, so he knows the NBA style. He knows the offense. He's a good offensive head coach, I should say. And rumor has it he might be, or he already is, new head coach of University of Cincinnati Bearcats. Just haven't made that official. But this is going to be a tough game for Villanova. And like you said, based on reputation with Villanova, they always play good in their conference, always play good in the Big East. They hardly ever loses in the first round. When you think of Villanova, you think of the 2 national championships they won under Jay Wright. You think about how they always make Final Four, Elite 8 appearances. And we look at Villanova differently now because Jay Wright is not there anymore. He retired. So their head coach, he coached Maryland last year. So when you look at Villanova, just based on reputation alone, like you said, a lot of people picked them. But if you look at Villanova under Kevin Willard, Kevin Willard usually don't have a team where they got past the first round in this tournament.
Yeah, but he's playing with. I mean, Villanova's going to attract higher quality players.
Yeah, and that's what you look at. He doesn't have his players in there yet. So this is where you look at like, all right, this is a retooling or rebuilding year for Villanova. They made the playoff, they made the tournament, didn't expect that. We don't expect them to do anything this year. Holler at us next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this NCAA tournament, to me, Jamie, is all about Michigan, Connecticut, Michigan State, Arizona, Duke. Who am I missing?
This one I would say is very much about the 1 seeds. I mean, like I have all 1 seeds making it to the Final Four besides Houston. I have Duke and Houston playing.
Yeah. It's about the 1 seed, but it's also about the 5 superstars, the top 5 picks in this year's draft. in this NCAA tournament because when we look at the landscape, you said the 4 number 1 seed, but the 5 players I'm talking about, there's Akiel Jr., Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, AJ DeBaska, and Fleming out of Houston.
Peterson's playing himself out of being a top 5 player, though.
Peterson?
Yeah, he has not looked good lately.
Peterson has not looked good, but also he has talked. I don't think he's talking himself out of top 5 just yet. I do believe he talked himself out of number 1 pick because
100%.
The load management, not playing.
Acuff has to be right now the number 1 pick.
Yeah, AJ DeBaska definitely. Someone has said the best. You can't teach 6'9" with his skill set, what he can do on the court. You can't teach hustle, which he always does on the court. You can't teach that.
I mean, I could easily see somebody taking him number 1, but I could also see somebody taking Akiel Jr. number 1 too.
My favorite player in this draft.
Because if you're looking for somebody that does everything right, it's Akiel Jr.
Yes. There's Akiel Jr. is the guy that nobody talks about at all.
Nobody he's been getting a little love on ESPN. He's been getting a little love.
What now he is. But
now
season, nobody was talking about.
Last couple of weeks, he's been getting a fair amount of love. Kendrick Perkins loves him.
Yes. But what I'm saying is beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah, nobody was talking about him. Nobody was talking about
it. They were really sleeping on him. There's Akiel Jr. has been compared to Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
By Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And I see it. The guy, the young man is playing injured. He hasn't practiced all year. He has a foot injury. Doesn't practice. So when you see him play, that's his practice of what he's doing. He's not even 100%. He's not even 70%. But he is coming out there, giving everybody 30 buckets, giving everybody the double-double. This is the same guy who won the SEC championship title for the Razorbacks. This guy is unbelievable. This young man, 19 years old. A little backstory, he is from Detroit.
Went to Cass
Tech. If you don't, that's right. If you don't know, this was the guy who Michigan wanted when he was being recruited by Juwan Howard and the crew. And
that's 100% why Michigan didn't get it, is because it was Juwan Howard.
No, they didn't get him because Juwan Howard got fired. Howard established those relationships. I'm top of here. And I say this, Juwan Howard did an okay job. I don't think he did a great job at Michigan. But I also felt that Juwan Howard cost himself that Michigan job.
Yeah.
He should have never coached that last season. In fact, when it came out that he had health issues, he should have resigned then when he found out about his heart. He couldn't coach anymore. All right, he came back to coach was to keep the guys intact. I understand that, but he should have resigned. He made some mistakes. But the one thing that everybody forget to do is that they forget to get Juwan Howard his flowers the way early on, how he coached that team to the Elite Eight, how he done some good job recruiting. If Juwan Howard was healthy enough, if Juwan Howard never had that incident at Wisconsin, because that was his downfall. Be honest, that was his downfall. If he had that incident in Maryland, things would have been looked different. Now, I don't think he'll be coaching Michigan still, but I do believe he'll be coaching in college. And one of the guys he was looking at to get was Akiel Jr. Got fired, didn't happen. The kid went to AMC, and he went down to school in Florida.
On Bradenton, yeah.
Yeah, and
not far from where I lived.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and the rest is history. So that's that little off-topic thing about Michigan, Juwan Howard. We can move on for that. But this kid, 6'3", 190 pounds, is a beast. This kid can potentially be a franchise player. Let me phrase that. Is a franchise player. This is a kid who yesterday I envisioned playing next to Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Pistons one day. Seriously, I have, because he is the prototype
He is, but
He is a
Detroit doesn't
prototype.
have any chance of landing him in the draft.
No. I ain't saying the draft. I say down the road.
No.
Down the road. Put him next to Cade Cunningham. Hey, I can dream for one day.
Even if Detroit had the worst record and we had the highest odds in the lottery, we'd still end up picking sixth. Because even when we have terrible records, we still pick fifth or sixth.
Is that the shot at the league and let us get another superstar player in the draft?
It's called the lottery is BS. That's what it's called. The lottery is just a joke.
So basically, you're calling it the Adam Silver Rigging the Lotto.
Yeah, Adam Silver is the worst general manager, commissioner, whatever you want to call him, in any professional sports league.
Wow, we're going back to off topic.
No, I'll just leave it at that. It's just a flat, blunt statement. Adam Silver is the worst commissioner in any sports league, period.
Wow, it was just a few years ago, the NFL owners want him to be their commissioner. So, man, the tides have turned. He's so bad, he made Roger Goodell look like a genius.
I mean, Roger Goodell is the second. I mean, Goodell is the sleaziest commissioner by far. He will prostitute that NFL shield out to anybody. But just as quality work, Silver is the worst by far. You got players basically telling you, you can't do anything to us. We're going to take our full season contract. We're going to play 40 games, and there's nothing you can do about it because my pinky toe hurts.
And that's why I always say David Stern was the best commissioner in basketball, because the owners, he didn't work for the owners of the players. They worked for him. I don't know how he did that mind thing, but
David Stern ran the NBA like it was a league full of men. You have a contract, you honor your contract. If you mess around, he was strict. He enforced penalties, but he also knew this is a league of grown men. Fights are going to happen, and they deal with it. Adam Silver, look what the NBA has become. LeBron blatantly flops all over the court. Nobody ever calls anything. You want to say this guy's the greatest player of all time, and the dude blatantly will flop on the ground when nobody is even close to him, just because it draws attention. You've got the carry, the gather step now. Guys, Giannis can basically run halfway across the court without dribbling the ball, and it's considered legal because they changed the rules of the gather step. Like, it's not even basketball anymore. You might as well be playing handball. I don't know if you've ever seen professional handball. Might as well just play that. And as much as I love Steph Curry's killed the NBA because everybody just wants to be Steph Curry. You don't need to actually have any fundamental skill at playing basketball. You just need to be able to shoot from anywhere.
So, but and the European players who come over here and do add on to the flop and the complaining.
Because, yeah, they're soft because they all grew up playing soccer.
Except for Jokic.
It's because Jokic's brothers will take you out in the back and shoot you.
I do believe when I look at a guy like Luka, who is one of my favorite players, I get tired of him flopping and complaining. I look at LeBron, I get tired of complaining. I get tired of all the flopping in the NBA. It don't matter what player it is, who's your favorite or your worst. I get tired of the flopping. I get tired of the load management. I get tired of the tanking. I get tired of everything in NBA that's hurting the game.
Well, think of it this way. Let's say you live here in Detroit. Well, you're in Arkansas. Let's say you wanted to go see OKC's coming to town. Now, you guys don't have a team, so better off, let's just say you're here in Detroit. OKC happens to be coming to town. You wanted to go see SGA. SGA's pinky hurts today, so SGA's not going to play. Would you still buy tickets? No. But they wait until day of. Oh, he's not going to play today because he's having menstrual cramps. But yet you've already spent your money. Nothing you can do about it. You can hope to sell your tickets, but who's going to want to buy tickets if SGA's not playing? And Adam Silver's supposed to sit back and say, this is cool, guys. This is cool.
First of all, if he got menstrual cramps, he got some other issues going on.
There's plenty of guys in the NBA that show up to the games wearing dresses now. So, I mean, there's Russell Westbrook used to, come in walking with that crocheted dress that he made the night before walking into a game.
These are the opinions and expressions of Jamie.
100% they are.
As long as everybody knows that.
100%. These are my opinions alone.
Yes. The simple fact that you said Russell Westbrook and the dress, SGA and menstrual cramping, it's just like a bad image. I always thought you was gonna say SGA and his foul hunting scheme, something like that.
Oh, I mean, I could say that about Trae Young, say that about James Harden, SGA. That's why I like Cade so much more, because Cade goes out and talks shit to people about how he doesn't have to do that, and he still dominates games. When do you see Cade do any of that stuff?
I haven't seen it once.
You don't, because he doesn't. He drives the paint, he takes the hits, and still makes the buckets. He doesn't flop around. He doesn't do any of that. And that's just your good Detroit teams. They never do any of that stuff. And magically, they always have big dudes that are willing to swing on people. And what does Detroit have right now? Isaiah Stewart somehow thinks that that's what he got drafted to do. So
I thought he got drafted for his defense and his hustle and occasion 3-point shots. But
when he got into the scuffle in the hallway, when he was getting bounced out, he's like, what'd you guys draft me for? Like, this is what you brought me here for. So
I don't think anybody in Detroit's complaining about that.
No, Mike Valenti on 97.1 does, but he's the only one.
97.1 are the most negative radio station that I ever heard. Sometimes they're right.
That's probably actually pretty.
Yeah, sometimes they get it right. Other times they don't. And I respect them guys.
For people that don't know, that's our dominant sports radio station that used to carry Lions games. But because they were so negative, they lost the Lions games.
Yes, they did. And
yeah,
man, that's, now I think about it,
that's been like 10 years.
Talk radio in Detroit.
Well, we used to have like a really hardcore. Remember Drew and Mike on like 101, like the heavy station? When they split off because the one dude got sick and retired, the other dude went and started doing sports. But he was doing like the overly statistical sports show where they're like breaking down the wars and like in baseball and the exit velocities and like, dude, you're on the radio. You got to be entertaining. Like nobody wants to hear about exit velocity and bat swing speed on the radio. It's one thing when you've got graphics and charts and shit like that to put up on ESPN, but when you're on the radio, like you got to keep it moving.
Maybe I need to make my show syndicated to Detroit.
Maybe
the second show, sports talk show in Detroit.
There's a pretty good opening here.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get into sports betting here because Valenti and all those guys have that stuff locked up here.
Oh no! I don't want to do sports betting.
I just
sports betting
get that locked down.
Sports betting, politics, nah. But shout out to all those people who liked my video on no war with Iran. I appreciate you guys. You got me 3,000 views. Appreciate you guys. Keep it coming. Keep the emojis coming. Keep the likes coming. And make sure y'all subscribe too. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad y'all guys fell for the trap, but hey. But back to Darius Akiel Jr.
If the Pistons could get him somehow in 5 years, it would be amazing.
Yes.
He's going to be locked down by whoever grabs him.
Yes. That's the sad part. It's good for him, sad.
It's great for him unless he gets drafted by like a New Orleans. Like,
what?
I feel bad for you.
Well, their pick goes to Atlanta, but I do believe they.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Pick. Well, even if you get to Atlanta, I'm sorry for you.
He is projected to go to Atlanta Hawks, by the way.
Sorry ahead of time. Like, there's just some teams you don't want to go to because they're never going to be good.
And they had because the latest mock draft came out, they actually had AJ DeBaska going to the Sacramento.
I mean, Sacramento is that one team that you're like, at some point, all the pieces in the Tetris bubble are just going to fall where they're supposed to, and it's just going to turn on for them. But every season, it's like that one piece never clicks the right way, and they don't do anything.
So they're that team that just can't get right.
I mean, you would think when Shaq had part ownership that he would have been like, "Hey, let's figure this out," and even he was like, "Just sell me out of this thing." But I would give Sacramento a much better spot on like an overall power ranking of just overall organization than Atlanta, New Orleans. Those would probably be my two bottom ones. Memphis is not much higher than them. Like they got that whole mess with Ja Morant. If I'm Memphis, just trade his ass and rebuild.
They tried.
I know they tried, and he has no trade value because he's a disaster off the court.
No, James, that's what you call you get what you can.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Get what you can and just start a rebuild. You're gonna suck for 2 years. Draft well. That's all I can tell you. Draft well, but Ja Morant is just an absolute disaster.
All right. Here's the top 10 of the mock draft that just came out.
How old is this one?
This one is dated for today.
Okay.
So with the first pick, AJ DeBaska is going number 1 in Sacramento.
I don't hate it. Like him or Acuff could be number 1. I wouldn't have a problem with either one of those guys going number 1.
Okay. Cameron Boozer going number 2 to Washington Wizards. Darren Peterson going number 3 to Brooklyn.
Yeah, no.
Number 4, Indiana Pacers taking Caleb Wilson. Number 5, Utah Jazz taking Kingston Flemings out of the University of Houston. The Atlanta Hawks viva the New Orleans Pelicans taking Darius Akiel Jr. number 6 from Arkansas with the 6th pick.
I mean, if you're Atlanta, pray that happens. But if anybody takes Peterson over Acuff, just quit.
Yeah. Number 7, the Dallas Mavericks taking Keaton Wagler out of Illinois. Number 8, the Memphis Grizzlies taking Michael Brown Jr. out of Louisville. Another diamond point guard, but he can't stay healthy right now. And he hasn't played that much. The Chicago Bulls taking Braden Burries out of Arizona. And Milwaukee Bucks taking LeBaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. So there's like a lot of point guards taken. I think it's like that's 4 point guards.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Peterson, a combo guard, and a forward and a center. Yeah. So back to Darius Akiel. The reason I'm high on him is not because he's from Detroit, my hometown. I'm high on him because his basketball play, his basketball IQ, and knowledge of the game of basketball. And again, this kid that hasn't played, I say he hasn't practiced majority of the season. He's been hurt. He has a foot injury. He's been in a walking boot. And the only time he plays is when it's game time, when the lights are bright. That's when he shines. And this kid has not failed. Compared to when you look at Michael Brown Jr., when you look at Darren Peterson, when you look at these other 2 guys who are high draft picks, who are going to be franchise cornerstones, who doesn't play, who load management, it makes you wonder, do they love the game? But also it shows you that in Kendrick Perkins, and I agree, that Akiel Jr. is the best guard in this draft. And he is the best guard that Calipari has ever coached. And that's high because he had Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, well, excuse me.
Well, I was going to say he had way more than just that.
He is the best player that Calipari ever coached. Not that the best point guard, the best player. And this guy had Marcus Camby, Mario Chalmers, and he was a beast in college. John Perry coached a lot of great players in college. And this young man right now is the best out of all of them.
I mean, if you're just going from recent memory of people that Calipari's coached at the point guard spot, speaking of Sacramento, you had De'Aaron Fox, you've had Tyrese Maxey, you've had SGA, Eric Bledsoe. I mean, Bledsoe's going back a little bit. Brandon Knight.
John Wall.
But yeah, like these are all John Wall's still even fairly recent. I wasn't going to take him because that's going back to like the 2010s, but still, like Calipari's coached really good point guards, and people are saying this is the best point guard he's ever coached, if not best player he's coached.
Yeah, and look at the other players he got that's not a point guard. He had Karl-Anthony Towns. He had Anthony Davis. I just said Marcus Camby. Devin Booker, just to name a few that's in the league. And A-Cup is better than them. That tells you something. Now the other players, the reason why I say the NCAA tournament is big for the 5 players I mentioned is because this is their opportunity. This is their stage to set a name for themselves. This is the time where you got NBA scouts in the stands, you got fans who got basketball knowledge watching in the stands, expecting these guys to show up now because this is the money tournament. This ain't regular season. This isn't your conference tournament. This is the madness NCAA tournament. This is where you show everybody why you the first pick or why you should be the first pick. So those 5 players I have mentioned, I'm saying again, Kingston Fleming, there's Akiel Jr., Cameron Boozer, Peterson, and AJ DeBaska. These 5 guys, this is their money time to show everybody why they're the best players in the country. And they're going to have to show up, show out, and lead their team as far as they can go. Individually, they're going to have to put up some numbers and put on the show.
I mean, Cameron Boozer, even if as long as he doesn't have a terrible showing, he'll be fine. Peterson needs to ball out basically. And if he doesn't, if anybody picks him over Acuff, they should be fired.
Yeah. Peterson on all of them has to play. He can't sit out the second half. He can't show up for the first half.
Well, he needs to play at an extremely high level, not just play.
Yes, he do. For a full game. Not for a half
game.
Yeah,
for a full game, 100%. Well, that's the biggest criticism. Last couple of games he's played, he shows up in the first half and then he disappears.
Yeah. AJ DeBaska, I look at that squad and they lost their second leading scorer. So it's been tough for them to win some games and actually to advance. But this is the time where he will have to put his team on his back and just go. Kingston Fleming is the same way. We all know about the Houston Cougars. They're great, one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Offensively, they just stagnant. And he himself is going to have to put his team on his back and going to have to make some noise because this is the only way that these players and these teams are actually going to advance. The reason why I didn't put no one from Arizona and Michigan on there because they're our complete team. They can rely on other players on the team to get them there. But these teams have superstars.
Yeah, Michigan doesn't have any true superstars. They actually have just a solid team move around.
Yeah.
And they're also good enough to beat any of these teams. That's why I have them winning because, yeah, they lost to Duke already, but they lost by what, 4?
Who, Michigan?
Michigan and Duke when they played.
They lost by, I think but it was fairly a close game. Let's see.
They lost by 5.
Yes.
So, yeah, Michigan can, neither team scored 70 points. So that's still a winnable game for Michigan. But Arizona probably is, like you said, the best team overall. But Michigan can beat them on any given day. Arizona could beat Michigan on any given day. Michigan could beat Duke on any day. But Duke, I think, is more of right time, right place, right time. And I think that game, especially, I think Duke just got lucky that day.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it all shakes out. No, my luck, Michigan will get bounced in the first round somehow.
I don't see that.
No, they're not going to.
So we're going to transition to the NBA. We did maybe talk about this is very important, the NBA, because the NBA next week will be having a vote and discussions on expansion. If you guys been hiding underneath the rock for the last 5 years, has been thinking about expanding the league from 30 to 32. And those 2 teams, Vegas and Seattle. Now, the reason why they're going to Seattle, because if you look at it, the Oklahoma City Thunder moved to went from Seattle to Oklahoma. The leadership in Seattle dropped the ball on that situation. The team won the new arena, had to move money. They really messed over their fan base. In hindsight, the whole situation, the NBA did owe Seattle a franchise. They said they was going to get one, so they had to follow through that. And now
you can't have any other teams getting approved before Seattle gets one back.
No. So looks like after 18 years, Seattle's going to get their team back. They're going to get the records back. They're going to get the color scheme back. They're going to get the logo.
Peyton and Kemp will get their jerseys retired.
Yes. And by the way, while I'm on that, we have to make a trip to Seattle for that to go down.
100%.
That we have to be there in the stands.
100%. I'm like Sean Kemp's biggest fan.
Yeah. And that would be great. If you look in the Oklahoma City Thunder's record book, Sean Kemp and Gary Payton is in there. Because the move to OKC. But if you also know about Sean Kemp and Gary Payton, they also refused to have their jerseys retired for Oklahoma City Thunder because they never played there. They have no relationship with the fan base.
No ties, no nothing. So they won't do it.
Nothing. But once Seattle get their team, everything gonna go back. And like Jamie said, they get their jersey retirement, all their record books will go back to the Sonics. Now with Vegas playing it simple.
It's where the money is.
This pick for expansion franchise in Seattle.
Every major sport needs to be in Vegas now. It only makes sense.
That too. But also, we've seen the test run by the NBA with the All-Star game in Vegas, with Summer League in Vegas, doing their study in Vegas, because they have been doing that, by the way, low key. They have been studying Vegas for a long time here. With basically every franchise going there. If you got the Oakland A's, Athletics, you don't know why they're going there. But everybody else deserves to be there. So when you look at that, but okay, it can work. Cool. They're going to get they're going to be the two new franchises. And the NBA came out and said the amount is going to be somewhere between $7 and $10 billion. If you like a guy like Draymond Green, who says the NBA doesn't need to expand because the talent will be watered down, they have enough players to expand. And then if you listen to everybody else who says, hey, the talent is not watered down, there's a lot of talent in the NBA.
You know how you fix the problem that the players don't ever want to hear about? A salary floor and a salary ceiling. You can't let teams purposely not spend, but you can't let teams hoard talent or concoct plans like LeBron of, let me concoct my super team in Miami, so that way when I get there, I've already got all my pieces in play. You got to have a salary cap, something like to the point that even Ishbia out in Phoenix can't exploit, because, you know, he's just sitting back paying luxury tax up until this season when he finally dealt everybody. But before that, he had the highest luxury tax in the NBA. Like, no, there is no luxury tax. You just can't go over. It's a hard cap for a reason, and you have to spend money. You can't be the New Orleans Pelicans and not spend money on a roster.
True. Another thing that I want to say is that ever since before the pandemic started, the NBA wanted to expand. They only need 23 out of 30 owners to expand. But the worst kept secret is that it wasn't Adam Silver who was talking about expansion that time. It was these NBA owners who was talking about expanding because they see the economy of money just growing. One thing about all these sports leagues, they sit down, a lot of these owners, they think about, how can I make more money?
Mm-hmm.
The best way to do it, expanding. I don't know if Jamie caught this earlier today or yesterday. By expanding to 32 teams, which they're doing, they will have to cut up the money with the TV money with the other two teams. But the trade back and the kickoff is these 30 owners will get somewhere between $500 and $600 million check from these two expansions, in which the players don't see the money. This is their money to do whatever they want. If they want to upgrade or renovate their arenas, they can. If they want to pocket
this
money,
they're going to pocket all the money.
That's what I'm saying. If they want to pocket this money and put it in their account, they can do that.
Into a different sport, you might be talking about the Chicago Bears of Indiana, because a guy that has more money than he needs wants the state to pay for his field and his stadium. You're talking about billionaires that are still trying to get cities to fund their stuff. Like you said right there, these guys getting $500, $600 million checks. And we're talking about teams moving because, oh, well, Seattle didn't want to do this for us, so I'm just going to threaten to move the team, and I'm going to move to Oklahoma City because anybody wants to go play basketball in Oklahoma City. Everybody that has the opportunity to leave Oklahoma City, what do? They leave Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant was gone. Russell Westbrook was gone. James Harden was gone. SGA, as soon as he gets the opportunity, he's gone. That's the way it is. It's the same thing of, if you don't make the league even by having a salary floor and a salary cap, is what Draymond said, oh, the league will get watered down. No, it won't. You just won't have super teams anymore. You'll have a superstar player with role players surrounding them on every team. Then it will be about who's the best team winning.
True. I hope the NBA does this a little differently, because we already know, well, for one, the expansion team is going to start in 2 years, in 28-29 season. They're going to start in 2 years. I hope the NBA does some things differently. Like, I would rather see teams protect 7 and 8. I would rather see the expansion teams be part of the NBA draft next season, so that I feel that if you let them draft next season, let their players they draft develop in their G League, start them a G League team, get that going for them. Let the players they drafted develop, so that when they officially be able to play from day one, there'll be a lot. The skill set will be better. The team will be better because they already got a year with each other in the G League. I want to see them. I want to take that protection off where they can't have the top 2 picks in the draft. Get rid of that.
Why? They should have the first 2 picks in the draft.
Right.
There should be a lottery between the 2 teams of who gets number 1, and then worst case scenario, you get number 2. If you're an expansion team, you absolutely should. I don't care if you're the worst team in the NBA. If you were the worst team in the NBA, chances are you were probably one of the 5 worst teams the year before, which means you didn't do much to improve.
Right. So I would love to see that.
If you're an expansion team, you have a little draft lottery between who gets 1 and who gets 2. That's it. And then you automatically, that's your number 1, that's your number 2. And then the worst team, they get their roll of the ball of where they land and have the lottery from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see that. And I want to see which teams is going to leave one of their best players unprotected. Now, for example, OKC has a team full of first-round picks, a team full of great, good young players who just not playing because there's not enough basketball to go around them to play. So that's where I disagree with Draymond Green, because any of these young players, and by the way, part of the expansion draft, they can only take 1 player per team. If I'm Seattle and Vegas, I'm definitely taking a player from OKC. And I wish they could change that. They could take 2 or 3 players. How many players they want off of each team? So, like, for example, there's nobody in LA, the Lakers, nobody's going to take. There's nobody with the Clippers, nobody's going to take. I'm sorry. It's not. There's a lot of talent in the league. And like you said, they're just sitting on the bench and not getting opportunity. So just imagine they go to one of the 2 franchise, expansive franchise, they get an opportunity to play, opportunity to shine and show what they can do. The league's not watered down. The league has got a lot of talent that's not playing. That's the bottom line with that. And they got a lot of talent in the G League that deserves to be on the NBA roster that's not even playing.
Yeah, and it comes down to team size in the NBA is a lot smaller than other leagues in other sports. So you have a smaller bench. So that does attribute to it. But as far as watered down talent, absolutely not. You just have really good players all stacking up on one team.
Yeah. I actually want to see.
Can you think right now, it's not translating right now, think of how good the Indiana Pacers should technically be next season once Tyrese Halliburton comes back.
Oh yeah, that should be Eastern Finals.
Not in the Eastern Finals against like the Pistons or Cavaliers. They failed. Because their roster is stacked.
Zubac. You got Zubac in that front court with Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a guy who's gonna get them the ball.
Yep.
And you
the Pacers should be stupid good on paper. Now, does that translate to the court necessarily? No, but I'm sure it will.
And not only that, they're gonna have a high draft pick if they decide to keep the pick. If they don't, they could trade that pick for another great player. So I agree with you on that one. So I'm looking forward to the expansion. I'm looking forward to the NBA expanding. What the NBA is doing is no different what NHL, National Hockey League did when they expand. They doing nothing different where Major League Baseball is trying to expand, but they got to settle the Tampa Bay Rays situation and the Las Vegas A's, who, for some reason, is still, even though they built their stadium right now in Vegas, they still find a way to screw it up.
Yeah,
I can't make it up. Just read the articles. Just read articles. Until they get those situated, they're going to expand by 2 teams as well. The only league that's not going to expand is the National Football League, because Roger Goodell's out here being pimped by the NFL owners, and they already told everybody they're not going to expand. They want to keep their money. Instead, they're going to play a lot more games overseas.
They're looking for ways to get NFL Europe going of doing something. You're not sending all these teams over every season playing overseas without the thought of expanding overseas somehow.
Yeah, you see the NBA is going to start NBA Europe. And they want that money.
Yeah. I mean, we've already had NFL Europe before, and it failed.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it failed. But they're trying to bring it back.
Yeah, back then it wasn't funded right, and at that time the league owners didn't care for it. But now, there's a lot of money to be made in Europe with football, with American football, and the NFL going to tap into that.
Oh yeah, and in Mexico too. That's why we keep getting the Mexico City game. But again, who for their own safety wants to play in Mexico City?
The NBA put the G League team there.
Yeah.
They did. They put a G League team this past season in Mexico City.
Yeah.
What I tell you, man, it's a case study going on here. And I want everybody to understand that the NBA expanded by 2. That doesn't mean these 30 owners, and I say that these 30 owners, it's not Adam Silver. It's not like these 30 owners can come back and say, you know what? We're going to expand by 4 teams instead of 2. They're looking for money. They're thinking of more money. They're okay with sharing the money, their TV rights money, but they're also thinking more money that go in our pockets, we don't got to share with the players. That's what they're thinking about. Anytime they can do that, that's a great thing for them.
The problem with the NBA, more than any other sport, is if you keep adding teams, the simple solution is, you'd still keep 82 games. If you keep expanding, it's because you want to lengthen out the season. You can't get these guys to even pay 3/4 of a season for the most part. If you expand the season, you're going to have less people playing less games. And at some point, the fans will start to turn on you.
Well, the fans already turned on the league. And
the
league
as a whole, yes.
NBA. Yeah.
But they still support the teams. That's the problem.
Yeah. The NBA has the analytics problem because they depend more on analytics than the eye test on the court. I don't think the NBA need to expand after this, but I do believe that someone had brought up, I forgot the gentleman's name, is that when Adam Silver said relocation is off the table, I think he spoke too soon on that. Because if you're telling me that those other owners is not looking at the Pelicans, like, hey, we got to move you out of New Orleans because we're not making no money there. I think that was too soon for him to say relocation is off the table. I mean, once upon a time, you said Indiana Pacers. I want to say it was like 15, 20 years ago, the Indiana Pacers was about to leave Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the Memphis Grizzlies right now, a team that's playing in Memphis deserves to be in Memphis. You don't think these other owners look at the Grizzlies like, hey, yo, we got to get you up out of here, go to Nashville so we make more money. We need more revenue coming in.
Yep.
Look, that's something. So I think he spoke too soon about relocation. You don't think these other owners ain't thinking about more revenue coming in if they move certain teams to different markets?
Like, I don't know how New Orleans isn't playing in San Diego.
Well, San Diego, again, is not a big market. Let's put it like this.
You'd still have enough to sell out an arena consistently.
You have enough. You don't think that the league don't want a team in New Jersey?
Well, 100% New Jersey's there, but when you're talking about where players want to play, they always want to play. Oh, yeah, they 100% care.
I mean, the players care, but come on, these other.
I mean, every player in the NBA, if they had their choice, they'd want to go play for the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic, where you don't have income tax,
or go out west, play with the Lakers, play in LA because of the weather.
Right.
Well, or Phoenix
again,
because of the weather.
San Diego. You don't want to play in Phoenix. Trust me, I lived there. You don't want to play in Phoenix. If you want a bloody nose while you're running up and down the court because there's such dry air, go to Phoenix.
That's what they got Denver for.
Not Denver. That'd be the spot to go. But no, New Jersey doesn't have a team. Some of your major hubs for sports don't have teams in the NBA, but yet you have a team in New Orleans.
New Orleans was a team back in the day. Well, New Orleans was a team back in the day when it was New Orleans Jazz.
How does Vancouver not have a team again? How does Vancouver not have a team again? If you want to expand, you hit some of those Canadian markets.
Montreal,
Calgary. I mean, Toronto, that's still a fairly recent NBA championship winner.
But you think players are going to want to go to Vancouver and Montreal? I said players. Again,
I mean,
a lot of these owners, they want to go with the money going. They want to go with.
Well, and the problem with Canada is the exact opposite of what I just said with the Florida teams. DeMar DeRozan just did an interview. He went to San Antonio. He's like, I feel like I've been getting robbed because he was paying so much in taxes. Yeah. Because again, everything goes to healthcare and things like that. Like he had to go to Popovich, and Popovich had to tell him his check was correct because he thought he was getting overpaid. But it's all about the money, and the players at the end of the day, unless they've gotten up there in age where they're chasing a championship, they just want to get paid the most, which means everybody wants to go play in Florida where there's no income tax.
Too bad.
Especially when you're talking about the sizable money that they make. You could be talking an extra couple $1 million a year by not paying income tax.
Too bad the Orlando Magic don't believe in scouting superstar talent.
Haven't they had the most top 10 picks in like the last 10 years too?
Yeah. And too bad the Miami Heat don't go out here and get value the top talents anymore.
I mean, if it wasn't for Disney having ownership in the Magic, like the Magic don't deserve to have a team in Orlando either.
It's Orlando. It's a tourist town. They got the Magic. It's all good. It's all good. And a lot of the players go to Miami just for South Beach.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to take my talents to South Beach as I've pre-constructed my team with Chris Bosh coming over, which hasn't been announced yet, and Dwayne Wade's already there. Yeah.
Before we leave, I got one more thing for you.
What's that?
The Houston Rockets, who everyone thought was going to be a championship contender team.
Yeah, that sounds to have failed miserably.
Well, they're 17 games over 500. Your boy Kevin Durant had a burner account, and he said some things about current and former teammates. The Houston Rockets, they don't look too good. So I'm here to say that's on Kevin Durant. If it's true about what he said on those burners accounts about current and former teammates, I don't know how he can come back from this one.
I can't stand Kevin Durant. Never have. I think if he was 5 inches shorter, he'd be a quarter of the player that he's managed to become. He's only had success because of his height. He's a good shooter at his height. That's it. The rest of his game is super weak, and he's petty as all hell. And if you're somebody like, I don't know how people don't just get in his shit and just talk massive shit to him during the game. he would be like the easiest person in the world to rattle. Because the first thing you say to him, the first thing he's trying to do is he's already planning in his head, oh, I got to go buy a new burner phone so I can start talking shit online. Like, he's been called out for it multiple times where people have found out it's his burner phones and he's talking about people. Like, he has no mental toughness. Like, you got your ass handed to you in OKC, and what was the first thing you did? You went and joined the team that handed you your ass so that you could get a championship. And then people say, oh, well, he won the finals MVP and blah, blah. They never would have got there if it wasn't for Curry and Klay Thompson. Like, he's just a freeloader. Because when things get hard, where's Kevin Durant when things get hard in series? He doesn't show up.
Yeah, he's a very expensive freeloader.
I mean, I laughed at Matt Ishbia when they traded for him. I'm like, the dude doesn't have any knees left. And you've mortgaged your entire future of your team to get this guy who's going to do nothing for you. And what happened? Did nothing. But then he doubled down even more and said, hey, I've mortgaged the immediate future of my team. Now I'm going to mortgage the long-term future of my team and not have any draft picks until like 2031 or 2032. I'm going to go get Bradley Beal, who in his best version of himself is a high-volume scorer on a terrible team, which is exactly what he was before he got to Phoenix. What was he in Phoenix? I'm hurt. I'm not playing.
Sound like a common theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, I'm hurt and hungry.
Are you hurt?
I got a channel in my inner chat. So that's the WWO Podcast, DS Walks WWO Podcast. My special featured guest, Jamie. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching. You can check out some clips tomorrow of our show. Well, of the Signature and Finisher Podcast, the best wrestling podcast in the world. You'll see some clips of that show today and tomorrow. So stay tuned. And thank you, Jamie, for coming on. Everybody, have a good day. Peace out. See you on the weekend.
Just let me know when you need me again, and I'll have some more controversial stuff for you.
Always. I can't wait for the ladies want to come out about the Clippers and their punishment coming and everything else, even the NFL controversy. I can't then wait for that one.
That'll be good.
All right,
NFL's going to have a pretty big shakeup, but yeah. All right, dude.
All right. Peace out.
Later.